Are you really into the person you're dating? Do you find yourself constantly thinking about him and talking about him? Well, usually that's a good thing, but as you know, overdoing it or becoming too obsessed too soon will have him running for the hills. That's why in this video, I'm going to share the 8 warning signs that you've become excessively attached and emotionally dependent on your man. Don't go anywhere, we're starting in 3 seconds. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Antonio Borrello. Welcome to another video. This channel is all about helping you build great relationships so you can grow happy with the people you love. So if you're interested in making your love life the best part of your life, start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell notification so you aren't missing anything. Okay, on to the signs that you're too attached. Oh, and make sure you watch the whole video because after I explain the signs, I'm also going to tell you how to turn things around and bring your relationship back into balance. Being emotionally intimate and sharing a secure attachment with a partner is one of the most amazing parts of life. But as you know, too much of a good thing can become unhealthy and damaging. I mean, drinking water is usually a good thing, but drinking too much water in a short period of time can kill you. It's true, you could even Google it. Well, similarly, becoming overly attached or emotionally dependent on your partner, like a stage 5 clinger, is not only unhealthy for you, it usually leads to your partner wanting to abandon you. It's like the thing you fear the most is exactly what your behavior will bring about. So before you let that happen to you, here are the 8 warning signs to look out for. Number 1, you're constantly texting him. Look, keeping in regular contact with a person you're dating is usually very sweet. It's like you're sharing your day with someone, almost as if they're keeping you company and making your day more enjoyable. That's healthy and wonderful. However, it becomes problematic when 3 things happen. Number 1, you start feeling anxious when you've gone a few hours without hearing from them. And that's even when you know he's working. It's like you need to get a refill of his attention or you start feeling empty and lonely inside. Number 2, you get anxious if he doesn't respond right away. I mean, does your heart drop when you realize he hasn't texted you back for 10 minutes? Do you start to worry that something's wrong? If so, that's a problem. And if you're double and triple texting him without a response, that adds to your anxiety and raises the clinginess index tremendously. Don't do that. And number 3, when texting him interferes with your ability to accomplish your daily responsibilities. Like you don't complete your work or school responsibilities because you're too busy texting back and forth. So if you're experiencing one or all of these things, you're probably overly attached or on your way to becoming obsessed. Number 2, you rarely disagree with him, and that's because you aren't being completely honest. Do you openly share your opinion when you disagree about something? Or do you find yourself wanting to please him and so you go along with whatever he wants to do? In other words, instead of speaking up and expressing yourself when you disagree, you prefer to agree and avoid having a debate. For example, you find yourself watching sports on TV for hours because you want to make him happy, but in reality, you don't even like sports, but you're not comfortable saying, I'm not really into this, and asking him to binge watch your favorite show with you. Here's the problem. Some people assume that people will like you more if you always agree to their ideas or activity choices, rather than speaking up and expressing your preferences when you disagree. And I know that people also do it because they want to be thoughtful and pleasing, and they believe that thoughtfulness and agreeableness and love should get the same in return. But that doesn't always happen. If anything, you end up getting taken for granted and underappreciated. Instead, you need balance. Healthy relationships require both partners to be honest in sharing their beliefs and feelings and likes and dislikes, sharing the effort and the work. That means sharing the decisions on choosing restaurants and deciding on movies to see. Happy couples share in deciding who they spend their time with, the music they listen to on the radio, and the TV shows they watch together. But they also share in helping one another with everyday chores and taking care of each other's needs. But I know it can be difficult for some people to do this because they are constantly putting the needs and desires of others before their own. If this is you, be careful. This behavior is not sustainable and with time will cause you to resent your partner. Number 3, you give up your own needs to meet his. It's natural for partners to meet each other's needs. However, it's unhealthy when you are the one making all the sacrifices without getting much in return. That means you are investing way more into the relationship and things become imbalanced. And oftentimes, he hasn't even asked you to make those sacrifices. For example, you give up your weekly girls' night out because your boyfriend doesn't have plans on that night. Again, he didn't even ask you to give up that night. You decided to do it because you thought it would please him if you were available to hang out with him. Look, relationships involve compromises, but when you abandon something that is fundamentally important to you just to fit in with your partner, that is compromising too much. And you may end up resenting him for it, as well as regretting giving up something that matters to you. Number 4, you no longer spend time with your friends and family. Have you got to that point in a new relationship where your friends are starting to complain that they never see you anymore? I mean, this one is classic and so common. Many people are guilty of this when they get into a new relationship, but it's important for you and for the relationship that you have your independent social life and maintain those relationships in person. Staying in contact with friends via text messages or phone calls is not the same. Meeting up and connecting with people face to face means that you value those relationships and you continue to strengthen those bonds of friendship. To have a stable and healthy relationship with your partner, you both need to hang out with friends and family and not just with each other. By doing this, not only are you nurturing yourself, you're nurturing your relationship too. By the way, are you a person who tends to stop hanging out with your friends when you get involved in a new relationship? If so, why do you let that happen? Or do you have a friend who disappears when she starts dating someone? Leave a comment below and let's talk about that. Okay, on to number 5. You have no hobbies or interests of your own. Some people are like chameleons in their relationships and always change their interests to match that of their partner. Actually, in the movie Runaway Bride, Maggie, who's played by Julia Roberts, is a woman who becomes famous for leaving 3 different fiancés at the altar as she runs away at the last minute. In the movie, we find out that Maggie adjusts her interests to mimic those of her fiancés in order to please them. And this is signified most prominently by her choice of eggs, which changes with each fiancé. And at one point in the movie, we find out that Maggie doesn't even know how she likes her eggs because she had always gone along with what her boyfriends liked. Essentially, here's what's happening. Overly dependent partners tend to make their significant other their whole world. And this means they won't feel secure enough to have interests of their own, especially ones that don't include the other person. So they aren't going to engage in interests or hobbies that their boyfriend isn't into. Instead, they go along with and engage with whatever interests their significant other has. And this is just not sustainable. I mean, if you don't like fly fishing, you can't expect yourself to be okay with going on fishing trips every weekend because you'll be miserable. Number 6, you don't like doing things alone anymore. Instead, you're always inviting him because you feel incomplete without him. If the thought of doing something alone is giving you anxiety and stress, then you just might be codependent. While it's natural to want to spend a lot of time with your partner, feeling stressed out because they aren't around isn't good. Here's an example. Your girlfriends are planning a girls' night out and they have to specifically tell you that your boyfriend is not invited because they know that if they don't say that, chances are high that he will show up sometime during the night. Oh, and they also know that telling you that he's not invited makes it more likely that you won't show up either. They know that you're that attached. Again, it's important to have friendships and engage in activities you did before you met him, because that's what made you who you are. Remember, your relationship started because of who you are. If you lose your identity, you'll likely lose a relationship too. Number 7, you constantly stalk his social media like a private detective. Have you found yourself scanning through his old pictures, checking his timeline, or even checking out the profile of every person who liked his last post? Does that sound familiar? Okay, I'll admit, we all do it, right? But this becomes a problem when you get so obsessed with checking to see who's commenting and liking his posts, you start analyzing and checking to see if you can understand their relationship based on their history of liking one another's posts. Then you start to feel anxious or even jealous that he liked another woman's meme. That's unhealthy social media stalking, and if it's compromising your independence and making you anxious, it's gone too far. Number 8, you need constant reassurance of love and affection. It's normal to want to know how your significant other feels about you. However, constantly asking them how they feel for reassurance is a problem. If this is you, then you'll probably ask multiple times, do you love me? How much do you love me? Are you sure? You probably also need to have constant affection from them, such as kisses and hugs and holding hands. But why does this happen? Well, when overly attached people get involved in a romantic relationship, they often have this perpetual feeling as though things are on the cusp of falling apart. They're always on the lookout for the signs that things are going wrong and that the relationship is about to come crashing down all around them. That's because it's difficult for them to believe completely that their partner values them or their relationship. So they need reassurance over and over again that, yes, everything's fine. Yes, I love you. This insecurity and these mini accusations that something's wrong all take their toll and quickly turn from annoyance to active resentment. And this can become overbearing for the other person and will likely lead to the demise of your relationship. See, looking to our partner to reassure us when we feel insecure only leads to more insecurities. Remember, feeling secure comes from inside of you. And if you don't feel worthy, if you don't know your value, it won't matter how smart and sexy and worthy or attractive your partner tells you that you are, it won't stick. And you'll need more and more reassurance to temporarily fill you up again. That's why you must strive to feel okay within yourself. You need to love yourself and accept who you are. Then you can be fully accepting of the love and affection that your partner directs towards you. Again, it comes from within, not from looking to your partner at every turn for reassurance to prove you're okay. So, what can you do if you find that you're overly attached or even obsessive with your relationship? Does it mean that you must detach from your partner entirely in order to be healthy? Not at all. This is not an all or nothing thing. There is a healthy middle ground, and that means having balance. It means knowing yourself, including what you like and dislike, what you can tolerate and expect from a partner, and being able to stand up for yourself and sometimes put yourself first. It means cultivating self-love and using it as a foundation for a healthy relationship. But as we discussed in other videos, practicing self-love in the context of a new relationship is often easier said than done. When we want another person, we often do things that we think will win their affection. And in doing so, we often engage in behaviors that are anything but self-loving. The good news is that, like any relationship, strengthening your relationship with yourself and practicing self-love is something that you can learn to do. So, if you're interested in learning more about practicing self-love, click here to watch this video now. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to become part of our notification squad. I'll see you in the next video.